Excellent. So now we've got all our controls and functions working, we'd like to give our game a brain. So if we're not playing another opponent, perhaps we can play the computer. It's quite difficult to make an AI, artificial intelligence, and in fact on this game salad system, it's not something we can really do, but we can apply a few rules and behaviours in order to predict where the ball's going and give player two some area to move to get that ball. But obviously we'd restrict the areas or the space that they can move to in order to give the player one also another chance. But we will try and optimize their control. So let's have a go. So we need to create some attributes, a prediction attribute and a position yourself attribute. And these are going to be, one's going to be a boolean, which is the position yourself, and the other is going to be a real attribute. We'll have a look at these in a bit more detail after, but let's just get ahead and get this done. So let's go to attributes and let's add, and the first one, let's add a real attribute, and you can follow us on page 60 in fact. And we're going to call this one predict, and we're going to create a boolean attribute, and we're going to call this one position yourself. And we're going to leave both, or in fact we're going to leave them unticked or unmarked. Then we're going to open the ball in the actor editor, so let's just go back, okay, go to the ball. Nelly. So now we've created our real attribute, our boolean attribute. We're back in the ball actor editor, and we're going to create some rules to allow it to be automated. So let's go in and create a whole new area of rules. And we've got quite a lot of conditions here, so perhaps we can explain them after or discuss them in class. So when all conditions are valid, we need an attribute, and we're going to add self motion to it. So we're going to add a new rule, and let's get straight into it. We're going to discuss the detail a bit later, or perhaps in class, because there's a lot to go through. So we're going to add a new rule, and you can follow us on page 61, and it's an attribute. When the self motion, so ball, in the time itself it's referring to the ball, if it's the ball actor, motion, and we're using a linear velocity, a straightforward velocity, and on the x-axis greater than or equal to 0. Okay, that's fine. And add another attribute in. Self, so that's ball, position, x, and again we're just putting our parameters here, greater than or equal to 240. Just tick here. And our final attribute for this section, attribute self position x less than or equal to 300. Okay, we need to add some constraint attributes here also. Sorry, my screen moving a little. Constraint attribute. Game. Predict. To self position Y. Position Y, so that's for our movement, and that's excellent. Another change attribute, just drop that below, pull our screen up. Game position yourself to 1. Game position yourself, and that's to our boolean field of 1, so that's true. And finally, I'm going to grab another change attribute, and so otherwise option in fact, so if we just open otherwise, game position yourself, and this will be our negative value, 0.